Hello everybody, this is Conquering History Games and welcome to a new campaign on the channel. This is Hearts of Iron 4 Equestria at War version Ponies at the Ready, version 1.3.6.1. Now this is going to be something that is sort of meant to coincide with a guide that I am working on for Olenia. Because I have a Patreon who has requested that I do an Olenian guide. And he also wanted to know, how do you defeat the Changelings? Now, I'm going to probably talk about that a little bit in the guide, but I have done this before on my own time, going the Queen Velvet route, although, admittedly, that was before the new focus tree, where the new focus tree seems to force you into an alliance with Equestria, or I suppose you could just never take that focus. But let's jump in there, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But basically, the goal of this particular campaign is going to exclusively be to fend off the Changelings, defeat them, absorb their land, and then we are going to call it a day. In future campaigns, maybe one day I'll come back and I'll do like a fascist Olenia, but for right now we are going to do communist Olenia, which I personally think is the weakest of all the possible paths they can take, and I'm going to show you that you can still defeat the Changelings with no help from Equestria. Hopefully they don't guarantee me. I don't think they're going to guarantee me. If they do, I'll like do some sort of console command in between episodes to get rid of that guarantee, because I want to show it can be done exclusively without them. So let's jump into it to King Johann here and his brand new treat. We will be doing historical AI focuses so that the Changelings don't wait all day to attack us. Jumping in now. So let's look at the situation here. Whoa, pardon me. King Johann, prepare for tons of pronunciations throughout this campaign. King Johann Javulin, the Devil, the illegitimate son of King Aldar II, seized power upon the death of his father. His sister, the rightful Queen Velvet, has fled to Equestria through intimidation and greed. The Jarls and Dukes of Olenia have shown themselves loyal to him. But all is not well for King Johann. The common deer suffer under his tyrannical laws, and dissent is rising. Protests have broken out across the kingdom in the recent months, with deer demanding for Johann's abdication. They have been swiftly and brutally crushed by those loyal to Johann and his paychecks. But Olenia's problems are not just internal. To the north, the Changelings look towards Olenia's resource-rich mountains with greedy eyes, and to the east, Queen Velvet is befriending the Canterlot nobility and working to raise Equestrian support for an intervention against King Johann. With these threats, the powerful and fanatic Alshir Jargold Jerva, the newly appointed head of the Olenian Church, is rallying support for a more militaristic solution to the threats against the nation. He desires to see Olenia return to his twisted vision of the old days, where the sight of Olenian longships struck fear into anyone who laid eyes on them. Of course, the populace may finally rise up and throw their support behind either Queen Velvet or Culivero Ciorla's Socialist Deers Party and overthrow the king and his lackeys, bringing forth a new future for Olenia, a future they will have to defend from their neighbors in the north. Olenia is on a knife's edge. It will take great skill and cunning to see it survive. The first order of business should be to deal with the rising dissent once and for all. Next, the rampant corruption must be stamped out if Olenia is to build up its military might to survive against the Changeling and Equestrian threats. Olenia knows its mountain home well in a strong defensive position and will surely... Can? They need to fucking edit this. Can surely withstand any bug or pony attack. Just an explanation of the region, mechanics, go check out my intro to Equestria at War video. Nothing that fixed the Pardon Commander's decision for Olenia not working. Well, it's good that got fixed. Anyway, because that deals with us. So, we have a few different paths that we can go here, but like I said, I personally feel the communist path is pretty weak. So we're going to be doing that. So first things first, let's actually get it done. Or actually, is that the first thing I want to do? Oh yeah, we have to, because there's actually a lot of stuff that's locked off, because we have to either be at war or we have to stabilize our situation. So of course, always a good idea to check your national spirits first whenever you're playing any new country. We have a corrupt government. The rule of King Johann Jelzek has slowly eroded away the moral fiber of the government and the bureaucrats. Nowadays, nothing gets done without a bribe being involved. Even then, it takes some more to get things going. As a result, the wealthy deer in Olenia have increased their wealth and privileges. So, herding, consumer good factories, stability, war support, construction speed, production efficiency cap, and factory output. It's very bad. And we have also raising dissent. A daily political power cost is increased and stability is reduced because the rule of King Johann has been opposed since the very beginning, but crackdowns ensure that open rebellion does not occur. Nonetheless, a spark could change all that. So, we do oppose the king. He's an illegitimate tyrant. He has no right to rule Olenia. Higher-ups in the military and government, along with the commandeer, are sparking protests against his rule. Okay, now we're gonna also, first things first, I'm thinking we want to, how do I want to play this, because I only have so much time, and I'm trying to remember exactly how I did this, because I did this last year, successfully held them off. But I guess let's organize the military first. Of course, we have this great field marshal, Carl Gustav Mantlerhim, who is a logistics wizard, and he gives us more entrenchment, which is very good. We're gonna want to give him, I'm thinking, yeah, charisma. Wait, yeah, we can't yet. Later, that comes later. You've got some really excellent generals through here. Through you know, if you look at your whole crew here, very, very good stuff. We're gonna go with Lord Rusho though, because he has less winter attrition. Actually, do we want him? Yeah, we're gonna use him for now, and he's a mountaineer, which is also nice. We're gonna probably switch him off later. Let's actually do this now. It's better to just get people a little bit organized now. We're gonna have to reorganize this in a minute anyway, but I really like Ansa Sato. She's got the promising general trait, which gives her 25% extra leader experience gain, as well as a level 4 skill as general. There's nobody equal to that except for your field marshal, so she's real good. So I like to have her in charge of a lot of the basic infantry. All right, research slots. First thing, you got to get better infantry equipment. It's mandatory. We're going to be doing, yeah, we're doing Grand Battle Plan Doctrine, and we're also going to get basic machine tools, though we also have to get engineers at some point. Artillery, we're doing anti-tank. So the artillery is probably going to wait. Let's get rid of this for now. Instead, try to get some more support equipment. We got some free civilian factories, like I was saying, and I think the first thing we should prioritize is building some infrastructure in a specified place. I think that place is going to be Service. Or we want to do Vaverfront. Yeah, we're gonna do Vaverfront actually. Now there is a specific defensive line you're gonna want to draw. We're gonna get into that later, but it's proven very good for me in the past. You're gonna want to give up some land to them. You could try to defend directly on the border, and that could work with a little bit of luck, but I think the way that I'm gonna do it is gonna be a much better plan. Get a little bit of Navy stuff going, but it's really not important at all. You have your Royal Navy here, and we're just gonna merge it. Your one commander, and we'll just put them down here. And now you just let a little bit of time pass. Change up these colors, something like that. Okay, you have a lot of different templates here you're going to want to compare. So you have your Stark Ovar division here, which is just 12 width, has some artillery. These guys are the Royal Guard, which, like a lot of the Royal Guard in other countries, it's actually very small. It just has a high priority. So it's only a 6 width, and then you have the low priority 6 width. So these are actually, in fact, the same. And then you have an 8 width with reconnaissance. Now, we do have the unique 3D models here, for those of you who haven't seen them before. And I also am using the zoom in farther mod so we can get a closer look at them. But they are ponies, they're not deer, they have not made deer yet. But our enemies, the Changelings, well, we can't really see them now because we're not on the border, but there are Changeling 3D models, which is kind of cool. Alright, Great Strike. In protest against the tyranny of King Johann, workers around Olenia will take to the streets in peaceful protest. We expect for those loyal to the king to crack down on such a demonstration. The strike will continue until the king is gone. going to increase the popularity of communism. As I've said before, I've pulled this off before as Queen Velvet, but the tree looked different back then. So, for example, you'll see here it eventually ends in an Equestrian Olenian alliance, whereas the old tree, you could choose to be independent. Well, you're still independent, but what I mean is you could go Harmony and it doesn't force you to eventually get the Equestrian Alliance. You could just not take this. But I preferred to do the own thing. I really liked the localization options there. But I suppose it does make sense. Queen Velvet is being sheltered by Equestria, and Equestria could support a counter-coup effort by her. So it makes sense that she would want to work with Equestria. If you don't want to work with Equestria, just take one of these other paths then. Placate the nobles. Stick with Johann. But Johann's got to go. Or maybe not. No. Maybe not. Let's see what happens. I don't want to spoil things. No, he's going. He's going. So what our main infantry division here, it is going to be this one that I am going to modify. It does already have the support artillery in it, so we're not going to change that. But the key here is, of course, that you want good artillery, but it's not going to be just enough to have these good divisions. You're going to have some cheap divisions because there is an awful lot of land that you have to cover. Changelings, they are already in a better position than we are. They outnumber us, they outgun us, they have more population, and they're only going to get stronger. So you really, really have to have a game plan going into this. Alright, got some research done there. Let's go over here and check out some of our deer technology. Now, deers have some really cool stuff here. The naval traditions, we're actually going to be ignoring that because we are not doing any naval stuff in this campaign, so we could just ignore that. The economy and trade, some of this is kind of interesting. This is the best one, modern economic theory, but we are going to get started early on the winter equipment because we can get some good stuff here. Also, divination is going to be a high priority, especially once we get to, well, actually, none of it is as good as the military stuff, but divination is really interesting because, like, you're seeing the future, so it increases your planning speed, reconnaissance, things like that. So actually, we're going to we want to get down here to Moti, which is check this tactic out, by the way. The strategy of forming small pockets around attacking forces and trapping them while their supplies deplete. We can defend against much stronger foes. So this tactic, combat widths minus 50%, attacker tactic damage minus 75%. Very good. It's a very good tactic to have. And this other stuff on the way ain't bad either. But I think we need to focus on our industry more first. Come back to that. I'm hoping I'm remembering. It has been so long since I played this that I'm trying, specifically the deer, that I'm trying to remember a way that I was able to juggle the researches properly to, or like time them out properly so I can get deep into the tree fast. The strike has reached boiling point. It is time to take the fight to the government. We will storm and occupy offices, factories, police stations, and surround the homes of the elite. We will not stop until the king is gone. Take political power away from us again. Let's switch this up. Now, bolt action rifles are probably what we're going to use for the whole campaign. We'll see what happens. Okay, just making sure that they are supporting Chrysalis. There is no civil war happening. Good. Let's queue up some divisions here. That. Right, just a bit. Just that. Just getting them queued up, and we can train them up later once we have the equipment. But as you can see right now, it's going to take almost 6,000 days to fix my infantry equipment deficit. So we have a long way to go. We got a lot of stuff we still have to do. Sun celebration. Oh yes, congratulations, Celestia. Now, unless something has changed, the Changelings will never attack Equestria if they're still fighting us. At least not on historical AI. So, again, we're going to defeat the Changelings entirely on our own. There's no reason that Equestria should jump in to help. It's just about good templates, having a good line, making sure your industry is in order, and lots of micromanaging. It's a really fun campaign. It can be it just forces patience on you. The only thing that I would say is annoying about this part of like this style, like doing just, you know, wearing them down, is how do I say this? You eventually get to a point where you're definitely gonna beat them, but you're still just waiting to go on a serious offensive. Meaning, how do I say this properly? It's like you'll eventually reach a point where you are inflicting much more casualties on them than they are on you, and you're going to win, but you're still not strong enough to make a serious push, so you end up just sitting on the front line for a while, continuing to micromanage, and just inching slowly your way forward. Communist revolution. The workers have taken up arms against the king, the nobles, and the factory owners. Many government offices have already been overrun by commandeer. Meanwhile, the police and army stand aside. In some cases, they even assist the workers. King Johann remains locked up in his palace, but the crowds around the grate are growing. Let's see what the king does. Yeah, and that's when it gets to a point. I had considered doing another Velvet campaign. Oh, big moment happening here now. And then I was just going to call in Equestria when it had reached that point where I was clearly going to win, but I didn't want there to be any disputing what I've done, that it was all me. Alright, civil war in Olenia. After weeks of civil unrest in the capital, King Johann and other nobles have fled the capital, leaving it in the hands of the citizens. Jortland Palace has reportedly been looted. Meanwhile, in the Reichstag, formerly elated officials of the banned Deer's party have returned and are preparing to form a new government. Rebellion has spread to other cities where Deer are starting to arm themselves, while military officials have voiced their support for the new government. King Johann, meanwhile, has spoken out on national radio and rallied his supporters against the communist threat. With no other options left, a state of civil war now exists in Olenia. Win. During the night, King Johann snuck out of the palace to an awaiting airplane to be flown to safety. He has since appeared on national radio and issued a call for all Deer to take up arms against communism. The non-aligned supporters start a civil war. Politics will change. Deer's party becomes the ruling party. Public elections will be held. Alright, so civil war has begun. And, did they change something? Because I don't remember having this few troops when the civil war breaks out, but as the communists. But that's fine, because that's kind of the whole point, you know? That, yeah, because we get, oh, there we go, yeah, there we go, because we get tiers here. So, yeah, he left, our other general did, so we're going to mostly be using Ansa-cito, I should say. It's like all of my divisions are stuck over here. We have some pockets, but there's no way to actually reach them. You see, like, there's nobody. And that's fine. It's fine. So. So this war is relatively simple and nice. We're getting some Lend-Lease. Because we do still have all these guys in production. Let's get rid of them there. Alright, Stalingrad support. We cannot win this war alone. We need support from our communist friends in Stalingrad. We will try to do this, but it's a pretty simple civil war without them. I don't even know actually what they give because I've never seen them provide arms. It's really not important what they do. And plus, it's going to take 56 days into the war. Well, it's going to kind of take us a while to get everybody in position, but it's going to be alright. Good voice acting here. They have, they still have the Finnish people. Go to 4 speed, actually. Let's do that. Try to join up these pockets here. And just make sure everybody's moving all the time. Velvet embraces communism. What is this? Some time ago, Princess Velvet visited Princess Twilight Sparkle of Equestria to discuss her worries about the Deer of Olenia. During this time, she met with Starlight Glimmer of the Ponies Communist Party, who happened to live in a caravan adjacent to the Castle of Friendship. After much discussion, the two quickly became friends. Now Velvet has renounced all titles and has started work as a nurse in the Jortland Children's Hospital. When interviewed, she stated that she was happy with her new life and wishes only to help as many deer as she can. Communism for everyone, rich or poor. Was that there before? I don't remember that. Anyway, keep spreading it out now. Spread it out, spread it out. We're gonna take their capital. We've already taken like we already own a lot of the major victory points areas, a lot of the factories. So like if we look over here, they have no military factories at all. So I could just, and maybe I will, yeah, let's just let the AI kind of do this, and I will micromanage elsewhere. But it's just victory point sniping, that's all. Not a difficult war in any sense. Maybe a little bit harder than the Queen Velvet one, but you know, again, not a problem. I could be min-maxing this more. Like I shouldn't have the. They should not all be trying to encircle that one division here. We could probably get out of this with minimal casualties, but if fighting is going to give me a little army experience, right? Just a teeny tiny bit, but it's something, right? Over here. Yeah, it's not really much at all. Army experience is a real pain, which is why one of the first things we're going to want to do here is get a military theorist. Alright, fill these areas in. Here. Alright, go up and join up with them. Let's get some air superiority happening here. A little of it that we can. This area. Very good. Let's see. I want to finish up this war in this episode, actually, so I think we are going to go to 5 speed. Look at Elkberg. What else do we still need? Oh, they took service back. Whoops. You see, yeah, this is what I was talking about, how I could be min-maxing this better. But it's alright, it's alright. Just stand for speed. Here. Here to Ostlot. And then all we gotta do is surround the capital. Okay, we got. Are we gonna get any Stalingrad support? But as you can see, the war's already over. Olenia is an old state full of corruption and inequality. It is time to build a new society, one for the commandeer where all are equal. We'll get the Deer's Republic, which gives us political power and stability. Both. It's very good. Like there's a royalist uprising over in Prywin. Yeah, and now with the capital surrounded, everybody out there is gonna die. All the enemy armies, and look at the casualties. You know, I've taken 469. They've taken 6,000. It's not a bloody civil war at all. Oh, Stalingrad did send help. They gave us 500 infantry equipment, which is not a whole lot. Yeah, so again, the support does not matter. Yeah, keep pressuring them. Let's do a little force attack here. It's already 10% of the way towards being an infantry leader. That's excellent. Very fast leader, you know, very fast learner, I should say. Excellent. It's amazing. Oh, wait a minute. Get on the actual island, please, and then come down. Alright, let's get over here. What's going on now? 40 more days, it says. Kind of yeah, I should have just left somebody in the city. That was my bad, and now the war is going to be longer because of it. But like I said, get us a little bit of army experience. Come on, hit them from 4 sides, less than a day, and it's going to be over, right? I don't imagine they have any other victory points I haven't grabbed already. On more force attacks now. Uh-oh. In this one? Alright. What's going on over here? And that's it! Picked up some equipment. A little short on artillery, but we're fine. Cool, so now we are the Deer's Republic. So what we want to do next is it's time to roughly sketch out our front line for when we're going to fight the Changelings. So you know, we could fight them up here. There is a small river here, And there are, yes, some hills, there's a couple mountain tiles, but for the most part, there's not much going on there. So what I instead want to do is I'm going to come over here. Vavorfront is the pivot. Vavorfront is the key to the whole operation. If we lose Vavorfront, we start to be in a lot of trouble here. So we come over here, get totally behind the line. Then I'm going to keep dragging it through these mountains. What do we got here? Yeah, it's a forest, so we got hills and a mountain. This doesn't really matter which one, but we're going to go... I think this forest might be better. You know what? There's less attack coming into these hills, so we come up here. This is a mountain, right? Oh, we may not want to yield that one, so maybe something like this. Just come up, use the mountains the whole way. Of course, here you're gonna probably want to hold more tiles. Come up here, here. So, think that'll basically do it. Yeah. This is the one weak tile here where there's hills, but there's not really any way to connect these two mountain ranges. Come over here to this mountain instead. Yeah, let's pull it back actually. Come down like this. Oh yeah, that's much better, I think. So I'm gonna get the mountain here, get some hills here. And so this is your front line. This is where you live and die. Right here. Forever. So there is going to be some adjustments I make to it, of course, but you're pretty much looking at the final product, more or less. Just a little tweaking needs to be done. So first thing we got to do is let's try to get up to the 24 divisions, at least for her, which of course means we're gonna have to increase our manpower law at some point. Conscription law, which is sometimes easier said than done. But we're gonna proclaim the Deer Republic, and then that probably is gonna be about it. I guess we'll get agrarian reform, but then we got some other things we'll go do. We're going to be spending a lot of time over here. State of the army and whatnot. The sad state of the Air Force, yeah. Alright, the Deer's Republic. This morning, Kuliervo Cirola, chair deer of the Olenian Deer's Party, appeared on the balcony of the Reichstag and officially announced the formation of the Deer's Republic. Thousands had gathered in the streets to celebrate the proclamation. The Reichstag, currently in the hooves of the Deer's Party and representatives of other leftist parties, has officially annulled all royal power and has drawn up a new, fully communist constitution for the nation. Long live the Deer's Republic. Okay. Think about what kind of thumbnail I'm use for this episode. Oh, that's right. We are technically still an outdated industrial sector, so we do want to grab this, but at the same time, so the changeling threat. There's a lot of things we got to juggle correctly, but we're gonna pick up agrarian reform real quick so we can get that additional monthly population. For centuries, the Deers of Olenia have lived by their own means, barely surviving off the land under their local lords. Now it's time to empower the farmers and collectivize their efforts to ensure that no deer ever starves again. Yeah, we got into the Civil War here, so gotta pay the price. Civil War is now over. It's time to rebuild our nation and heal the wounds it left behind. Then we'll get rid of Civil War national spirit. We're recovering from the Civil War national spirit. We're just gonna get it done early. Oh no, pardon me, this one. Yeah, which is hurting our recovery rate, construction speed, production efficiency cap, and factory output. All bad things, obviously. This is rough because we've got very poor war support at the moment, too. Oops. Messed up. Trying to assign these here. Yeah, and just let's get them out sooner rather than later. We can always train them once they are out. Ooh, this is a good song. Do we want to pardon the commanders? I don't think so. I think the ones we have are plenty good. And improving the workers' conditions could be nice, but I think it's more important that we get the military theorist fast. Also, by churning these divisions out early, because we have to train them, that's going to give me army experience. So for now, let's grab Dispersed History as well. Really got to be cranking these out, especially the anti-tank down the line. How long is our current deficit going to last? About 1.5 years. So it looks bad, but that's the way it is. You know, they're already, Jesus, they're rushing us fast. They're already about to pressure me. Okay, this isn't right. They're gonna. Well, let's get to them pressuring me. Or no, the episode's already been half an hour, but they attacking me faster than I remember. Well, they are going historical, but I think they pressure me, and then they go do something else before they conquest. I hope. All right, so, but now we're gonna come over here, do industrial stuff. A lot of state-of-the-army stuff, although not that much, because as you can see, these bonuses are actually for either mobile warfare or superior firepower, and I am doing Grand Battle Plan, so not super helpful. Alright, Olenia is far behind its neighbors when it comes to industry. By offering incentives to open new factories, we can start bringing Olenia into the modern age. And I think we will stop it there on the Ides of February. So I will see you all next time, in which we will see what is going on with the Changelings. I'm supposed to have a little bit more time, not much, but a little bit, and we'll just see what happens. But I'm Conquering History Games. Remember, this should be going up in April, during which I'm experimenting with having no ads on the channel, and in return, I would ask if you want to continue to see no ads on the channel, go check out my Patreon, which is linked in the description below. And if we reach, if we reach a certain goal, which I have posted there, then ads will go off the channel permanently, and we'll also be uploading a certain number of videos a day. It's an experiment. I want to see what happens, and I hope that you guys will contribute. So, see you all around. I'm Conquering History Games. Bye.